This episode is going to be the longest episode so far. I had a really strong workout, so done a lot of sets, a lot of reps, and that's also why the title of this episode is Sets and Reps. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, started off with some close grip muscle ups. To be honest, I wanted to do a bit more of a closer grip, even closer than what you see here, because here I'm doing shoulder width, exactly shoulder width. Usually on muscle ups, I would do just outside shoulder width. But yeah, basically how it went is I tried to do inside shoulder width. So actually have my thumbs or the inside of my hands touching, because that means that it's going to be even harder. But I felt like there was a bit of strain on my shoulder when I was doing it that way. So I just settled for this way, which is still good. Still going to use my triceps, so that's always good. And yeah, I felt really strong on these. I'm not trying to use that much leg swing, but I think it's fine to get more reps with a bit of leg swing is better than to get less without, because you actually build more strength with more reps. So yeah, I mean, that's another thing, to anybody watching this. Don't be too concerned with your form to begin with, because the only way to get to really clean form is to actually do it with bad form first. And as I always say, as long as the form that you're doing isn't dangerous to the point where you might injure yourself, then it's fine. You really have nothing to worry about. So if you don't feel any pain, and maybe you ask a trainer or coach, even ask me, DM me on Instagram. It's the same as my YouTube name, but it's the Granite and Fit together at Granite Fit. So if you have any questions, definitely DM me and send me a video if you want as well. I'll review the video and I'll let you know if that form is dangerous or not. Because a lot of times, this is a really big point and something that a lot of people I think are missing in calisthenics. Um, a lot of people think that you shouldn't do an exercise with bad form, but the issue is if you're always doing easier exercises with perfect form only, it's going to take way longer for you to get to an exercise such as the muscle up. For example, if you're always doing perfect form dips, perfect form pull-ups, then those perfect form dips and pull-ups will only get you so far. They'll only get you good at those. Because, for example, if you want to do that and hopefully help yourself to learn the muscle up, guess what? You're not going to really learn it, because the muscle up actually requires explosive pulling power. And at some point, you're going to have to do it with bad form before you do it with good form. So I always say to people, just do what you can, do as many reps as you can with bad form, and don't worry, because eventually your body will get stronger and clean up the form. So if you didn't know, getting more reps is just one way of progressing. If you don't get more reps, but you get less but cleaner reps, that's also another way of progressing. So, for example, here you can see I'm barely using my legs. And when I first started doing calisthenics, this was like crazy to me to even see people doing their muscle ups like this. So, yeah, keep your kind of ego in check, but at the same time, don't concern yourself with perfection too soon, because in your journey, especially like, well, this is a calisthenics channel. In your journey in calisthenics, basically, you're gonna have movements where you can't really do them unless it's with bad form. And if you stick to those movements, that bad form eventually is gonna become better. But I feel like I'm repeating myself now, so let me just move on. So yeah, muscle ups again. As you can see here, I'm doing slightly outside shoulder width. So I maxed out on the shoulder width ones. For me personally, and I think for most people, it should be the case. If you go narrower, the muscle ups will be harder, simply because you have less space to get your chest over the bar, and that means you need more explosive pulling power. So if anyone out there is, I mean, most people do struggle with muscle ups, but let's say you're someone that's watching and you're quite advanced. You probably know this already, but definitely go inside shoulder width to make your muscle ups harder. So yeah, I maxed out on the shoulder width ones, and now we're on a bit wider ones. I can get more power as well. When I go a bit wider like this, it's a bit more of a favorable position. I'm not really congested, and my arms are kind of far apart, so I get more pulling power overall. Yeah, the reason why I'm doing so many sets of muscle ups is quite simple. I really want to get good at them, and I want to get to double digit reps, and do multiple sets of those by summer 2025. So hopefully when that episode or those episodes start coming out, I'll be able to say that I can do double digit reps on muscle ups. And to be honest, I really enjoy the movement, not only because of the movement itself, but because of how much muscle it takes to do the muscle up. So it's definitely a good bang for your buck type of exercise. So I fatigued completely on muscle ups, and what I like to do is then break it up. So as you can see here, I'm doing only the straight bar dip element. Make sure you go down to your lower chest, because this is just muscle up specific straight bar dip. And actually, it should be, in my opinion, the way you do your straight bar dips, period. You should never do straight bar dips to your abs or anywhere else, like upper chest, for example. You should always go to your lower chest, because you get the most chest and shoulder activation doing it this way. So what I do is, I do as many dips as possible. I'll be surprised if I could do more than that. So fatigue there, and then go straight into the other half of the muscle up, which is the pulling part. So I'm just pulling here, pull-ups basically. So essentially what this is a muscle up based workout from start to finish. So you do as many muscle ups as you can with the close grip, as many as you can with the normal grip, and then you go into a straight bar dip and pull up superset. So a superset is basically one exercise combined with another exercise with no rest in between. So it's really good, for example, if you want to boost your muscle ups, because what I'm doing is I'm taking out the explosive pulling element and I'm just combining the two other ends of the muscle up. So I just remove the transition. So then basically the straight bar dips, what it's going to do is it's going to help me to push out and lock up my muscle up. So let's say I can pull myself up, but I can't dip out of the deep position. Guess what? I've been doing so many straight bar dips that now I'm going to be able to do it. So this is a really good exercise for anybody who's struggling to actually not struggling to get over the bar, but struggling to push their body weight out and lock their arms out to complete one rep. And then obviously, if you're struggling to do the pulling part, I wouldn't actually say do pull-ups like this, because these are a bit too basic. As you can see, my chin is coming over the bar and that's it. But if you want to do a muscle up and you can't pull yourself over, try not to get your chin over the bar, try to get your lower chest to the bar. But with that being said, you can't get your lower chest to the bar if you can't get your chin to the bar. So if you're struggling on basic pull-ups, then yeah, definitely don't worry about the muscle up for now. Give the muscle up some time, because the first step to doing a muscle up is getting good at basic pull-ups, and then you get good at the chest to bar pull-ups, because obviously with the chest to bar pull-up, it's more realistic to a muscle up, since the muscle up requires you to clear the bar and get over the bar. So that's why you do a chest to bar pull-up. But yeah, even for muscle building, straight bar dips are really good, because for example here I'm leaning forward, I'm stretching my chest, and at the top I'm contracting it. So even just for the sake of muscle building, I would say do straight bar dips. And if you want to make it harder, slow the negative. Especially, this is quite a tough set already if you do straight bar dips and then pull-ups, and you can make it even harder. For example, I'm not controlling my pull-ups negative that much. I am controlling it obviously to some degree. I'm not just coming down quickly, but for example, if you want to make it even harder, do like a 3-second negative on the dips and then a 3-second negative on the pull-ups. You'll fatigue quite quickly, especially if you've never done this before. So yeah, pretty much just training sets and reps, doing the basics. And actually that's a really good thing, because a lot of advanced athletes, they always say the basics should never be skipped. So I feel like I'm doing something right. If I want to get to that mastery of bodyweight level, I definitely think that I should incorporate exercises like this. Handstand is fun. Handstand press ups are fun. And doing like front lever raises and stuff is fun. But I think the basics like this is always, it's not fun, but at the same time, training is not all about having fun. Sometimes you just do workouts that you know are going to help you, and that you know are going to build you from the ground up. Because, it's like a philosophical quote is, the wider the base is of a building, the higher it can reach. So this is basically what I'm doing, and what I think most athletes should do as well, especially in calisthenics. Build your base really, really big. So for example, get really good at basic pull-ups, get really good at basic straight bar dips, press ups, core exercises such as leg raises. Once you get really good at these and you can do slow negatives on them as well, you'll be really strong overall. And this is just a clip that is not part of my work. I just wanted to record to show any viewers that this is what you can do. So you can do straight bar dips, like this as well. So what I was doing till now was straight bar dips and then going to the pull-up bar behind me. But you can also do straight bar dips like this, where you're on a higher bar from the start, and then once you can't do any more straight bar dips, you go straight down into muscle ups, which I will show you in a second. Then right there, instead of letting go of the bar and then going to the other bar, you just go straight into the pull-ups. So what this is going to do is going to train you again for the muscle up, because in the first version, which I actually done for most of my workouts, since I already done the muscle ups, I can afford to do that. This is a way of training your muscle ups for somebody who actually can't muscle up. So start at the top, do the straight bar dips, and then go straight into the pull-ups. But anyway, just to finish the workout, because I had a bit excess energy, I decided to train a headstand press. Here, I just warmed up with the pike press-ups. And this is actually good. This is why it's good to have knowledge of easier and harder exercises, because the pike press-ups at the start of my bodyweight journey were actually an exercise that I used, and even now I do use them sometimes to build my shoulders. But for example, because I know that they're easier, I actually managed to utilize them as a warm-up exercise. So learning about what exercises are easier, what are harder, is not just so that you can progress, but you can actually have like an archive in your brain of what you can use as a warm-up when you get stronger. So for example, here I'm going into a frog stand, and this is how I wrapped up the workout. So from a frog stand to a headstand, and then this is the hard part. So I'm trying to push from the bottom of this headstand into a handstand. So there I done it, and then I went for a handstand press up, but I could not get it. So this is basically me until the end of the video just failing with the headstand press, or headstand press into handstand, which is what is a better name for it, because the press itself I can do, as you can see, but then holding the handstand is quite tricky. The reason that is, for anybody who wants to try this, and you will notice that it's going to be quite hard for you to hold the handstand after you press down. The reason for this is because the momentum is actually going upwards. Most of the time when you do a handstand, you're kicking up to it, so your momentum is going forwards. But if you press up to it like this, your momentum is going upwards, and your body's not used to that momentum or that force and direction of travel. So that's why it's going to be hard for you. I showed this to some people at my local park that can hold handstands easily, even on high bars, and they can do handstand press ups as well quite easily. And when I showed them this exercise, they kind of struggled with it. So this is definitely a good exercise, even if you're an advanced athlete and you can do handstand press ups and stuff like that. Try this exercise out. It's really good, especially as well if you want to build raw shoulder strength. As you can see, there's no movement on my body from the bottom position, and the only way that I'm going to push my body weight up into a handstand is to just use raw shoulder strength and power. So definitely give this exercise a try. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, subscribe and like, and stay on the lookout for my tutorials as well. And keep training, and let's master our body weight together and make calisthenics grow. So subscribe, like, and comment.